Alright everybody, happy new year and welcome back to some more Nordhold. I know it's been a while, it's been like 3 months. But yeah, we're back. Hope you guys have had a fantastic vacation. Fantastic December and New Year's Eve. We're back in this, trying to unlock even more things. This is episode 6 or 7. We're not really that far in to this game yet. We still need to, we even need to unlock the 9th tower, which is, yeah, that's gonna be a thing. So let's see, starter bonus. Yeah, so these two are logged because I did a test run just to even remember what this game is about, and I then quit, so I guess it registered as I lost it before wave 10. Okay. First boss, less HP or gain 2 rerolls. Is this like banner reroll? Okay, let's go with that. Okay, so we can immediately grab a worker, that's for sure. And then in this test run, I'm not sure if I'm even going to include that in this video. I might, because I had a few ideas there. Yeah, I actually might include that. So essentially this specialization is what I want to go for as fast as possible, and I don't really care if we lose a little bit of HP in the beginning of the round. So I'm just gonna let this go. Okay, perfect. And then one more, and yes, we're gonna lose some HP, but that's not a problem because we can get the house later on. Okay, so we have this, and this will give us the specialization of the lumberjack camp, and this will give us 80 passive income of wood, and that is actually huge, I think. So with that in mind, I don't really want to lose any more health, so I'm just gonna put down an arc tower over here. Oh, we can afford a second one. Not really the best hex, but good enough. Ooh, that would have been better. Okay, so yeah, lightning surge, I think that's actually fantastic, although jumps is actually good as well, except that the jump damage is plus 1%. Lightning mode jumps to 1 nearby targets and deals 70% of the original 70% of the original damage. Okay, ooh, that might actually be better in the early game, because this would be fantastic against bosses and, you know, like high HP guys, but this is actually, I'm really torn on this. I'm gonna go with the lightning surge regardless. Okay, so we have 125 wood. I think I'm going to do the same thing as I did in that test run, which is to grab the guild hall. Let's start building up that gold, and then next wave we can even grab the research and start researching again. So one of the mistakes I did there was I didn't have enough towers, and that's not too good. Next 5 upgrade cost of towers are reduced, but barriers are twice as high as normal. Will we even have barriers in the next 5 waves? Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah, because it's almost the boss wave. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have barriers, or no? Wait, no. Maybe we won't. Okay, let's see. Let's see where this gets us. Okay, university. I'm going to do the exact same thing. So resource efficiency, and then we're gonna wait for enough gold to actually grab or max out economy budget, and then go from there. Except we need a few more of these arc towers. Maybe arc towers isn't even the best choice. I'm not sure, because, but I really like these, honestly. They seem to deal a lot of damage, and also, you know, the banners can give it such edge against high HP targets as well. So that's why I kind of like those. Our trading ships would be fantastic, especially if we pair it with the economy budget upgrade. Only problem is we're going to get some elite enemies as well. Or we can just go with the general building upgrade cost minus 10%, and then tower upgrades. This would probably be nice, except I don't know how we're gonna deal with the elite enemies. I'm gonna go with this one. Okay, I went with fire rate previously. Let's do the same thing. Okay, now we have a ton of wood, but I think we still need to wait. I mean, we can grab this building because that's the cheapest we can grab it, and then that will actually give us back a little bit of HP. So this is the tornado.
Research.
Probably should have spaced that out a little bit more. Chain crits, love it. Increases the crit chance with every crit hit. Okay, let's do that. Okay, and yeah, so we need the 70 gold from the guild hall in order to grab the economy budget. So let's do that, and we are going to go with outpost. And this might not even work. Like if I fumble this the second time, then this is clearly not the way to go. let's do tornado. Tornado will at least take out all the little dudes, so they won't be focused by the arc towers. Only problem is we really don't have... Yeah, we're late with stone. I think that's ultimately a big problem. Because yeah, that is fantastic that we now have economy budget, but what next, you know? I think this definitely has to be next. Maybe you know what? Let's just focus on stone first, rather than like the general collector. This one, so that will give us 60 stone. So 60 stone will actually cover 2 more arc towers, which is actually nice. I like that a lot. Let's grab a little bit of this, because this is the cheapest now, so we can easily burn money on that one. And this is that kind of island-ish. Well, clearly it's not an island, but this is kind of the concept that I was talking about in the previous episode, or the test one. Is that those are the ones that I want to focus most of my towers onto. So yeah, we're once again really stretching this. I mean, if I'm gonna lose this for a second time, well, not in this one. Shit. Okay, we cannot afford those at all. Okay, let's see. So yeah, like that is going to cover a lot of ground. That is also going to cover a lot of ground. Okay, and then the next one is going to be another arc tower. One with some very nice... I think we kind of need to burn a little bit of wood, unfortunately, on arrow towers. Simply because I'm very much afraid that this 6 HP is just going to vanish. So yeah, what is this focusing on? Highest HP. I mean, that's a good idea. Not focusing on until death and focusing on the highest HP, so that will always take out... So that will take off the HP until it's not the highest anymore, and then we can just essentially let them get taken out by the arc towers. That's let's see. Let's see if that will work. Okay, so this is definitely plus our tornado is going to have a good time as well, but this still doesn't seem to be enough. Oh shit, that was 1 HP, guys. Wow.
Research completed.
Okay, I might be a little bit too greedy this time around, because I'm so much focusing on economy is that I'm not really focusing on anything else. Rapid archer fires burst of 3 arrows, each dealing reduced damage. The fire rate is moderately decreased. Okay, let's grab this, and let's grab another arc tower, because we are like, this is really stretching it at this point. Let's grab a group of towers. Yeah, could have spent a lot of that wood on more outposts, for example. So that's the only thing that I don't really like. How much is a forge? What was the smelting? Forges can now demolish and smelt surrounding resources, increasing the forge's damage bonus by +2% for each resource burned. Gold gives 3. I assume 3%. Like, if we were to put down a forge over here, that means it can demolish all of these resources. Of course, this poor stonemason will have a bad day. But then we can essentially boost the damage of all of these towers by a lot, actually. Because this is going to be a ton of resources. Of course, it depends on where we can put the forge. I haven't done that before. I might do that. Okay, let's see. Outpost. Yeah, I'm still going to go with this one. Let's see what happens. And now it's boss wave, unfortunately, already. So now the real problem is everything is going to start focusing on the boss. Yeah, and now all of these guys are going to be sent to these arc towers. Well, those are the 2 guards. Actually difficult to take out. Okay, but that's only one. One got through, perfect. Nice. Okay, we don't have the gold, but we can grab the gold from here as well. Oh, the problem is... I don't know. Okay. Let's grab the bonuses first. So plus 5% worker productivity per hired worker. So it's going to be 20% more productive, or boosting the damage. You know what? I said we're gonna go with economy, but I'm really afraid to use, so I'm just gonna go with damage. And here I definitely want jumps. Yep. Okay. So now let's focus a little bit more on economy, shall we? And we could grab the tavern and beer. And oh, it's a lot of things I want to grab. Okay, don't put that out of context, please. Let's grab this because I want more workers, that's for sure. But then also want some enhanced beer production, and then I want even more stone. Holy shit. Now actually demolishing this area doesn't seem like a good idea because that's a whole lot of stone. It's 22 stone per round. Man, we'll be able to build a bunch of arc towers next time around. Yeah, I don't know. And we're sure that would be a lot of damage, right? If we were to just demolish this entire area, and we might actually need that damage, because it seems like we're not really dealing all that much damage right now. I guess it's still very close to losing. What should we grab? Maybe a little bit more range. Let's do one round of range. And then we also need to focus on accuracy and penetration as well. Let's go with range for the time being and see what happens. Okay. So we have the economy budget. Yes, we do. Okay. So I would love to actually reduce this as much as we can. But I feel like I'm just going to waste so much time doing that. So I'm just going to grab a few workers, put them back on wood, and we have some wood to burn. We could grab some trade chips. Increases research yield from chests. I mean, it's only 5 gold piece, so sure. Okay. Still not entirely sure where we're going with this. At least now we're jumping, so essentially our AoE situation is a little bit better. But I mean, we are just letting so many through. Yeah, this is cutting it very close. Holy shit! If we could get a bunch of lightning surges, then that would be fantastic. But I feel like we need to do one more big round of towers, and then hopefully we can catch a break. Because currently this is not good. That's a good position. That would be a nice position if we could get like one range upgrade, and that will cover this entire area down here. Maybe even that hex is better because it catches this angle. Okay. So that was a lot burned. For sure. On 50, so there's 20... Wait, that's exactly... No, this one off. Yep. Okay, so let's just sell this. And then this is going to be the cheapest we can grab the workers. I'm not sure if actually optimizing it this much actually makes sense. And that's annoying me. So basically the strategy that I'm going for right now is that if I build and buy anything except for towers, that should be the cheapest possible way to do so. So first we grab the economy budget so that all the little upgrades are the cheapest, and now I grab the cheaper workers so that every single worker that we grab will be grabbed at the cheapest rate. Like I said, the thing I'm really worried about is that we are losing a lot of time by doing this. We were like waiting rounds after rounds just to grab a worker, and maybe that worker, if we grabbed it like, I don't know, 2 rounds before, then maybe the overall production of that worker would have been a lot more. Something like that. We'll see. So outpost cost. Yeah, 5% less. I think I'm gonna go with that. Now, fire rate for all towers or damage for all towers. Both of these are actually fantastic. You know what, let's go with fire rate because I'm still leaning towards... I cannot buy any relics, unfortunately. I'm still leaning towards maybe putting a forge over here, demolishing these resources, even though we have these badass outposts over here, and just boosting the damage of these towers that way. I'm still leaning towards that a little bit. Okay, this next one is 98. We cannot cover that just yet. So what can we do? We're really low on gold. That's a very bad thing. So I'm just going to burn all of our wood. Grab some gold. That's at least going to be 35 gold. Passively. Plus this guy is slowly building up some resources. Oathing Feast. Workers gain 30% productivity. So that will be, yeah, 160. Okay. Wait, can we grab 2 workers next time? Maybe. So it's going to be 200, 210 exactly. Well, we could. Ooh, that's badass. 210, and we have just enough wood to actually build another house or grab the Scandinavian style. Okay, fuck yeah. So if my math is correct, then we can grab 2 more workers next round. Plus, it seems we have held them back a little bit. They're actually getting through this line of defense, and that is exactly what I was looking for. So this is the kind of like half island, or I'm not sure what like the geographically accurate way to describe this is, but this is exactly what I was going for, is that these guys, if they can cover this entire arc, then that is fantastic. The next 5 waves, the amount of resources increases by 20% when exploring new... That's...
Research completed.
Now, I think you guys will hate me for this, but I'm going to go with the legendary banner. So that essentially means that we are down to 3 workers. Well, like I said, if my math is correct... Yep, 2 more workers, perfect. And then the next wave we can grab 1 more worker, and overall I am really not sure if this is worth it, guys, honestly. Like we're almost at wave 15 and I'm still just grabbing workers, making workers. Let's grab this and this, and then put a worker back in there, because we need to cover for that house for sure. Although, not really, because we can build 1 more worker. Okay, never mind. That is very slowly accumulating. I hate that. Shit. Could go with the statue. What was this? 2, 4, and 7% chance that this tower type generates 1 gold on kill. That would actually be a fantastic gold farm. If we grab this, okay, it's only 2%, sure. But if we boosted the arc tower, how much we have? We could grab 18. You know what? I'm just going to grab this so that we can grab this. So that's 4% chance that the arc tower will generate 1 gold on kill. And because it's the arc tower that's really going to deal the AoE, that means we could potentially make a nice gold farm out of that. At least I hope. Okay, so we have these. Golden era plus 80 gold per wave, but it's going to require 7 waves to do. I really don't want to do that just yet. Trading ships would be nice. That's still 5 waves, but we are doing pretty good on trading ships. Yeah, we only need 1 more. I'm not sure if I understand correctly, but this plus 3 per level of trading ships means that, for example, currently we're at 25, so that's gonna be... Oh wait, per level of trading ships. So because this is like, you know, we are at the 4th level. Let's say we max this out, so that's gonna be 5 level 5. There's gonna be 15 more gold. I think that's how we understand it. I mean, 15 more gold, is that actually relevant for us right now? Or we could just go with at least 1 rare banner choice. Shit. Let's go with the trading ships. This is completely different in many ways than the way we've done things in previous episode. I'm pretty sure. Because in the previous one, I really focused on towers. And so we were never in this bad situation. Although, like I said, this seems to be pretty good. And we're making a good amount of gold from this. Love it. Okay, bleeding. Bleeding debuff on impact. And that will also slow the target. Or we can go with the lightning surge. Lose that chance. That's actually huge. Although bleeding is also huge. Oh yeah, and you guys gave me once again another great set of tips, so thank you very much. I forgot to mention that in the first intro. Essentially, still like the biggest tip that you guys are giving me is to grab more of these fusions. I have a few concerns about that, which I might get into in this episode if we can finally stabilize our asses here. But essentially, my biggest problem with that is, you know, so for currently, I started building arc towers because I think they're very good for the early game. But it seems like the early game kind of leads into the mid game and then leads us into the end game in terms of towers that we build. So currently we have like these really beefy arc towers. So now in order to get more fusions, I would have to start transitioning into volcano mortars or something. Like, you know, any of these other towers, Frost Tower, Volcano Mortar, Tornado Tower, whatever, Runestone Tower, which will start at level 0, which is not that big of a deal, but without any banners. So comparing that with the fact that, let's say we get a bunch of like amazing banners for currently the arc towers and the arrow towers, I'm not sure if which one is better. But clearly most of you are telling me to get more fusions, so I would assume that that eventually pays off a lot more than just, you know, sticking with one tower than going nuts with it. But that's essentially my concern, but I believe you guys, so I will do my best. Currently it seems to me that sticking with arc tower is actually a good option. But sticking with fire rate might not be a good option because we are about to have some armored enemies, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to transition into penetration and maybe accuracy for the arrow tower or penetration for the arrow tower as well. That's a very good question. Let's go with penetration for the arrow towers because both of these are very fast. So I think accuracy plus this ignores block, right? But for example, the arrow towers, they shoot very quickly. So I don't think the accuracy is that important. Maybe that's stupid, but because it's not like the volcano mortar, they, you know, just lob something and if it doesn't hit anything, that's completely wasted. This will shoot and then shoot again. And essentially, yes, maybe it will be blocked, but then very quickly the next shot comes that might not be blocked. At least that's my theory. Okay, so if I put this down... I think overall this spot would cover a lot more resources and only a few towers less. But that would really mean that these, I'm pretty sure these stonemasons won't generate anything then. Okay, and then we need 50 gold, which yeah, we don't even have. Shit, it needs 50 gold to do this, yes. Melts all surrounding resources, granting the forge buff plus 23% damage. So on top of the 10% damage, so this will be an immediate 33% damage increase for these guys. That's actually very nice. I don't think I want to do some trading for that, right? Yeah, that would be a lot of resources wasted. I don't want to do that. Okay. One more worker, and I think we're sticking with workers right now. Okay, let's see what happens. Good thing we're building back that HP for the village, because we're not letting anyone through. Actually, we're letting less and less through. Okay, it seems like the barriers are going to be the next big problem that we have. Yeah, there's going to be a huge problem. The barriers, okay. Well, grabbing this is going to help us regardless. So it melted everything, plus 33% damage to surrounding towers. So it went from 100 to 183. That's... I'm pretty sure there's some other bonuses on that as well. But that's... yes, the 25% from Uranir's Echo. Okay. Okay, we'll see what kind of difference we will have in the next wave. And if it's not that big, then this was a waste of money, essentially. Hopefully it's not going to be. Okay, one more worker. You know what? I'm just going to go with one worker per wave. So I'm going to do this. And I'm also going to do... Man, oh, this gold income is so shit. It's incredible. I think I'm just going to build the gold mine and start putting some workers in there as well. So I really want to start grabbing all these passive resources. That was kind of the strategy of the previous episode, is just going with a bunch of gold first and then grabbing all the passive resources. Honestly, it seemed like a better approach than what I'm doing right now. By the way, yeah, so the stonemason dropped down to 15 and this dropped down to 15 as well. Okay. Hold on a minute. So okay, so this was on paper a tougher wave, and they didn't even let anyone through this time around. Okay, so that was actually huge. Imagine if we had a lot more resources. Like maybe over here. Or you know what, actually? No, I'm not going to put anything here, don't worry. But you know, if we had like a four hex over here and just demolishing all these, ooh, that would be pretty insane. Okay, one more worker. So how much do we need? We need 168 for the next worker. This is going to be 166. We'll just do some trading then. I don't want to use another worker for this. Okay, and actually tax burden now is incrementally better. Hell yeah, and we have 5 towers, I think, of... Yeah, we have of each. Fantastic. Now we have a shit ton of stone. Might need to get to building that as well. How is our research? Still 2 more waves, okay. This is gonna be 10 more. So this is gonna be 10 more gold per wave. You know what? I'm just going to get ahead of myself and build a few more of these arc towers. So these ones in the middle kind of need a little bit more range. Also another reason that I want to build these towers is that they will start upgrading faster. Oh, you know what I'm thinking about is that next wave is going to be banner choice. And if we could somehow grab the runic fire aura for the runestone tower, then this entire area, maybe even put that in the middle over here, we could cover this whole area with faster attack speed. Yeah, like if this one goes to range, only goes to range, and eventually it will it will expand to this area so it can also start shooting. But what if we just use the runestone tower for attack speed? So, you know, not as a damage dealer, but just for attack speed. Because we did use runestone towers in the previous one, but it was more on the it should deal damage side of things, not just it should support the surrounding towers type of thing. Okay, we'll see. Okay, that one. Now, on paper, this should be an easier hold because we put down a few more towers. Yeah, those armored enemies are starting to cause some issues. But at the same time, we're making a bunch of gold. It's fantastic. And also, soon we can grab the workshop. Yeah, I don't really want to build too much towers before getting to the workshop and grabbing the upgrades in there. Runic fire, well, that is just insane that we actually got that. Okay, that was not scripted, obviously, but that is ridiculous. Okay, cost of hiring new workers falls by 20%. That's also pretty good. I just changed the DPI on my mouse. Awkward. Enemies hit by hero spells are stunned for 1 second. 1 second. Plus 10% return when demolishing towers. Honestly, don't really like those. Maybe they're good. Okay, so we can upgrade Rapid Archer. Or we can just, in general, deal more damage and have a chance of shooting 1 extra. That could actually play very well into the bleeding. Because I'm not sure, does the bleeding occur with each hit? I'm pretty sure it does. Not sure how to test that. So, like, you know, like a volley of 3 arrows will inflict bleeding 3 times, or will it just inflict bleeding 1 time? Because the game thinks of that as just one strike or something. I'm not sure. So we have our first fusion. I apologize if we've seen these before. I honestly have no idea. I basically forgot everything that we did previously. So arrow towers which are adjacent to arc towers, so adjacent to, okay, shoot arrows with a 25% chance to cause jumps. The first jump deals extra damage. So the arrow tower shots will also jump. That's actually pretty badass. And the other one is jumps from the arc tower transfer a share of the original arrow tower bleed stacks. The transferred shares are reduced according to the jump damage percentage figure with each additional jump. Okay. So that would just essentially, yeah, forward the bleeding to all the other targets. Now, the only problem is, with this, is that our configuration is kind of backwards for this, right? Because by the time the bleeding actually happens from the arrow towers, the arc towers have already done most of the damage, and they don't really reach on the other side as well. or the other side. But at the same time, this is also pretty... Well, yeah, this configuration is just shit in general because I didn't know that this would be the fusion. If I had known, then definitely I would have mixed the two towers so that every single arrow tower would have an adjacent arc tower, for example. We could, of course, demolish. Actually, we wouldn't even really need to demolish. We just need to put an arc tower over there, so that will cover all three of those, right? And then this is already covered, and just... Yeah, so with 3 arc towers, we can actually solve this. So I'm just going to go with this one. Not sure if that's the correct choice, but we'll see. So, do we need one more house? No. Just need 2. Oh, that's the last worker. Okay. Hell yeah. I think I'm going to take everyone off of wheat. And put everyone on gold. Okay, so we're still not even maxing out on this one. Okay, I'm just going to let this build up. So that will give us a little bit more gold, but I mean, this passive income is going to be fantastic. And at this point, I'm going to grab the workshop, put a few of these, upgrade the superior architecture, and also advanced towers. Not sure if emptying the guild hall for this is actually worth it. I really just want to put down, like I said, like 2 arc towers. So one over here, so that will be adjacent, because that's what it said, right? Arrow towers adjacent to arc towers. Okay, so that one tower basically covers all three of those, and we just need 2 more arc towers in those positions. So I think I'm just gonna go with those. Perfect. Yeah, and at this point I really just want gold. Ooh, now that would be... Yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of trading for that. So that's a 7% chance for each arc tower kill to generate gold. This even shows us, right? Yeah, so we have obtained 31 gold at this point. Okay. So the still didn't cover the cost of this upgrade, but we are very close to doing that. Might actually grab it this way. Yeah, so it's already like 36 gold, 37 gold. Not sure if this updates in real time. I probably need to re-hover over it. Yeah, 39 gold and so on and so forth. 41 gold, yeah, so that will be covered very soon. Perfect. Okay. Nice. It's interesting that we don't have any banishing. I'm pretty sure this is going to be one of the passive upgrades, or like the, you know, like the roguelite cross game session progressions. What were those called? And I even forgot what they were called. Whatever. Okay, elite enemies. You can actually take on elite enemies, I'm pretty sure. And the research is completed. Fantastic. Yeah, so this was the trade ships. Okay, so now we're making a ton of gold. Let's go for banners. What was the next one? 3 rerolls and 1 banish. Okay. 2 rare banners. Or 3 rerolls in the market. That's not bad. Really, the question is, what do we want to go with? Do you want to focus on banners, so damage essentially, or potentially... Well, I mean, market can contain anything, right? That could be eco upgrades, that could even be damage dealing relics, whatever. Okay, so let's start burning more of this gold, preferably into more gold production, but also cheapest towers. And then seriously, I want the advanced towers upgrade at this point. So I'm just going to put, and then I'm going to put 1 more arc tower over there, so then our fusion is now a lot better. Nice. Oh, I forgot to grab this. Okay. Next wave, hopefully. Boss wave. Oh, next one is boss wave. Okay. Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit more passive wood wouldn't hurt. Wonder seed. I mean, we don't really need this, right? We built all the workers. Although, yeah, all thing feast. Okay, I'm not sure. You know what? I'm just gonna grab all of these in the market, which is reduce the prices of relics offered to you by 25%. The next common relic you buy in the market is free. Really? Okay. And every purchase in the market increases the chance of higher rarities. Oh, every purchase in the market. So if you buy all 3, then that will increase the rarity. We just don't know by how much. Okay, guys, moment of truth. So far, I'm like really not sure how our economy is going. Basically, my plan currently is to finish off all the passive upgrades, or like the passive income upgrades, you know, like passive stone, gold, wood income, and then go for a bunch of outposts. That's essentially what I want to do. Okay, so now there's the boss. Okay, boss is down. Beautiful. And we have made a bunch of gold just with this one. Fantastic. Okay, let's open up the chests. Open the chest. Okay. I'm going to choose our legendary banner. Ooh, hex fields give plus 15% damage. And banner just needed for next fusion and unique is -1. Now, based on what you guys are telling me that how amazing the fusions are, this would probably be the best thing to get. But I love the idea of this one. Describing the legendary banner. Oh, shit. Trinity, we're not dealing... Yeah, and Prism and Trinity are both runestone towers, which we're not even using. Okay, that's awkward. The critical chance of an arc tower also increases critical damage to a certain share. Okay, well then... Ouch. That one was pretty bad, no? And Lightning Surge. Yeah, so this is what I meant, that at this point I honestly would just want to go with Lightning Surge. And not because I just want to play around arc towers all the time. Like, I really want to start focusing on or checking out these other towers in like mid to late game. But at this point, it just seems so superior to anything else. You know, if I were to start putting down some volcano mortars, I'm not sure how relevant that would be. Yeah, that's really just my concern. Okay, I think we can grab all of these. We didn't even have the quarry. Okay, beautiful. Let's grab trade ships. Resources appearing. Okay, and that is going to be prefabrication is going to be extremely important before we start spamming out a bunch of outposts. Okay. Blessing expansion, second tower type benefits. Yeah, well, if it's gonna be, or if it's gonna be the arrow towers from this point on, then sure. If it's not, then I'd rather stick with full damage for the arc towers for the time being. Okay. Not sure what else to get. Maybe this one, so that if we max out on 50, then it will continue growing. Spell damage. I mean, sure, let's play around Wonder Seed then. Okay, and now let's redistribute all of our workers. Question is, what do we really want to do? Now this is exactly the kind of location that I was talking about. A forge over there, and even this one, forge over here and forge over there, surrounded by towers. Fantastic. And plus we have an actual island over here. Okay, let's... How much is the next forge? 137, 137, okay. I mean, we really don't need that much gold from this point on, right? Yeah, because we have everything. We don't have the meta progression. That's the term I was looking for. Okay, we don't have that, but that's okay. Yeah, let's go with the distribution like this. Fury is not active. Oh, okay. So we actually need a guy in there. So that will actually mean that Wonder Seed 3 is going to be huge, because Wonder Seed 3 is going to give us 60 wheat, and this needs 56 wheat. So that passive income is going to completely cover the cost of the brewery. Okay. Okay, let's see. Wow. Okay. Yeah, last time around, the sound was a little bit insane. Actually, it just occurred to me to actually bring down the master volume a little bit, because the lightning strikes from the arc towers can get a little bit crazy. And hopefully this is going to be a lot better. Okay. We'll see. Okay. Sure, let's go with more banners. Absolutely. Once again, lightning surge. At this point, I would always pick this to have the highest chance of this triggering, but I also like the idea of more stacks of bleeding and more slowing down. Okay. so this is what I said. Yeah, that's a 3 hex, and that covers so much ground. It's insane. Okay, how much is this going to be? Plus 48% damage. That is insane. And we can actually start building towers here in a meaningful way. So like this covered with or surrounded with some arrow towers. Let's put one over here, and then that can also be surrounded by some arrow towers. And we can go from there. I should probably grab this next. Wildlife ritual. Oh, and we can unlock the Runeforge for 1,000 honor. Let's do it. Oh, Architect's Dream. Unlock all buildings. That was the achievement. Okay. So let's see what this is, because apparently this is some insane stuff. Choose your deity. First of all, Runeforge. 2 divine paths offer different strengths. The path of Odin focuses on an economy built around many specializations, while Freyr's path relies on the power of your workers for success. Okay, so Freyr's Zeal. Vigor. +2 production rate per worker. Half the value applies to gold. Wait, +2 production? And it's maxed out at +8. So like, for example, the stone would be 40 more if I unlock this fully. Because that doesn't really seem all that much, honestly. I mean, it's good, but it's only 40. And now we're in the several hundreds. And we haven't even built outposts. Unless production rate means something different, but I don't think it does. I don't think it's times, so like 8 times the production. No, that would be insane. Surely not. Okay, we can go back. Odin's Grace. Minus 15% reduction. So that's a 15% reduction, not a minus 15% reduction on specialization prices. Now that, on the other hand, especially if we max this shit out, check that out. 15% reduction on specialization prices. Wow. I mean, yeah, but surely we cannot, like, you know, quickly grab this, but that would mean that our 200 specialization would be 100 wood. And for example, right now we have, so the next specialization is 500, so this would be 250 wood. That would actually be very nice to have. It's only 10 gold. Oh, then it's 40 gold. Then it's 80 gold. It's 125 gold. We don't even have that much gold. I mean, we could have that much. The question is, what would we specialize? Okay, so I just checked the sound. I think I'm going to turn this down just a little bit more. Maybe down to 50%. Hopefully that would be better. Okay. Now we could, you know, we could start experimenting with what you guys are mentioning with more fusions. By the way, this positioning of the Runestone Tower might not actually be the best, because by the time this actually reaches the outer layers, it's gonna be a long ass time. Yeah, it does boost, of course, the fire rate, but I'm not sure. Maybe if maybe putting it over here so that very soon it can actually start shooting as well as affecting the towers around it. Maybe that would be a better thing to do. And we could play around Runestone Towers since we already started building them. Yeah, let's experiment with that. So I'm gonna put one over here. I'm gonna put one over here, and then this will very soon have the range to actually cover this whole ground. And that's it. We'll see if we can get some more fusions going. And then maybe some Frost Tower for slowing down the enemies. That would be nice. Or maybe applying some weakness. All of that are actually fantastic. But, hold on a minute. Yeah, there's something else that I wanted to do. So, okay, we'll grab this next time around. I'm pretty sure. What kind of specializations do we have in the first place? On reroll to next Oracle choice. Okay. You can specialize, so this is also passive income. Okay, and the other quarry will also be passive income, and also the wheat production is passive income. Okay, so these are all passive income. Now, what is the specialization of the workshop? Because I don't really remember. The currently most built tower type, in this case Arc Tower, costs 15% less. or towers can be built on resources. Honestly, since we built this forge this time around, and I'm seeing how much damage we can get out of that, I would rather just demolish all the resources in the area and not actually go with something like this. Okay. Houses. This also has a specialization. Okay. You can hire 1 more workers per house. Oh. Instantly gain 2 workers who do not affect the population limit. Wow, holy shit. So we can grab the specialization for 250 next time around if we can max out the Runeforge. And 1 more house, 1 more worker per house, and we have 4 houses. So there's gonna be 8, no, there's gonna be 4 more workers, yeah, with an 18 total. That's actually huge. Brewery. Beer is delivered to the outpost and applied 100% outpost resource production while beer is brewed. Or minus 40% beer productivity bonus, plus 10 gold per worker while beer is brewed. Now this, on the other hand, this could get crazy. If we build a bunch of outposts, 100%, plus 100% outpost resource production while beer is being brewed, and that's going to be easy to do because currently it's just 36, right? Because we have 5 workers on the mission. But we have seen that it's going to be 56, plus it's going to be a little bit more if we get the 4 extra workers, so we might actually need to leave 1 worker in here. Doesn't really matter. Like, this and the worker count is actually so insane. Druid House doesn't have any specialization. What is the Mage Tower? Every 20 seconds, a lightning strike or thunder strike or whatever is executed free of charge. With the following focus, most HP. Deals 80% of the damage. Okay. Every 20 seconds, a fireball, great fireball, so on and so forth. Execute free of charge. The following focus group deals 80% of the damage. I mean, honestly, every 20 seconds for a spell. No, I'm very much leaning forward. Unless we can find something else. Tavern. Wait, what does Tavern have? Spell damage is increased to 120%. Okay, plus 10% worker productivity bonus per 50 wheat in storage. With a maximum of 70%. Per 50 wheat in storage. So if we stockpile a bunch of wheat, it's 70%. Oh my god, that's actually... Okay, so this would be more focused on the worker side, and this would be more focused on the outpost side. I said we're going to do a lot of outposts this time around, so I think we're going to... Yeah, I think I'm going to grab the specialization for the brewery and the houses. Currently, and then we can experiment. When we have the statue. Statue bonus now increases by plus 2% damage per wave. Ooh. Statue bonus is applied to the crit damage by the same factor. I mean, this... I couldn't care less. This would be fantastic if we can rush this. Like, if we can grab this very soon, that would be fantastic. Because previously, I think we survived until wave 35 or something. But even then, if we can grab this like at wave 10, which I don't think is going to be possible, honestly, looking at how the economy went in the early game. But if we can grab this around like wave 10, then potentially 25 waves will survive. And for that 25 wave, by the end of it, we're going to have a 50% increase in the statue bonus. I mean, that's good, but real question is, wouldn't we get a lot more out of having a lot more workers, and especially like the productivity for outposts? I think that's going to equate to a lot more towers in general. Yeah, you know what? Let's go with those. Okay, so we need 125, so let's just optimize this. This will be 125, perfect. And we will need... So at that point, this is going to be 250, right? So we can go with 250 approximately. That's just off. Okay, so this is how we'll have 250 wood, yes. And then it's going to cost whatever. I assume it's going to be like 130, 140. Anyways, I'm going to take everyone off of this and put it on wheat. So in this case, we do need a lot of wheat production. Okay. Let's see. So indeed, I mean that aspect of the Runeforge is actually huge. That is definitely true. I'm just not sure about the other path, the Freyr's path. If that... Unless I completely misunderstood the production rate, but... I mean, what else would that mean? Because I'm pretty sure it's not like a multiplier, like, you know, that would be... I mean, that would be huge. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think that's the case. If it's not a multiplier, then those values are actually... Compared to, like, the... I'm pretty sure by the time we get to a bunch of outposts, we'll make so much resources that, you know, looking back at, like, 40, 80 passive income of resources will seem like nothing at that point. Let's grab more stun. And I mean, sure, we can go with the outpost cost still, because we haven't really built that many outposts. So that will essentially pay off. Fire rate for towers is kind of covered by the runestone towers. We can go with damage, or we can go with more jumps for the arc towers. Damage for our... Let's go with damage this time around for every single tower. Okay, let's open the chest. We don't... Yeah, we could use a bunch of wheat. Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of values we'll see. Okay, so this reduce the specialization by 50%, so that means indeed we grab this for 250, good. And yes, indeed this 134. Okay, so it's gonna be a total of 400, 500, 580. Oh, we're almost at that point. Yeah, we just need one more. Okay, fuck yeah. Let's leave one worker over there. And then this one, yeah, so this would have been 2,000, but now it's only just 1,000. So I'm guessing I'm going to put all the workers into wood production. Wait 2 more rounds, because clearly we will survive 2 more rounds, looking at our situation currently. And then we can grab this, and then we can get to start building some outposts. So it's going to be at least like a 2 or 3 wave investment. Oh shit, we can go with the all thing feast, but then we need to recalculate because we need 160. Okay, yeah, so that wasn't the best idea, but that will last for 5 rounds, 5 waves. So this is gonna be a total of like 3 or 4 waves of investment. Not really sure how I feel about that. Okay, so currently this location isn't doing anything, right? There's just not enough towers. But this is doing fantastic. Like at this point, they're barely even getting across the arc towers, let alone the arrow towers. The higher HP ones, and you have a little bit of regeneration. I believe that's what screwed us last time. Okay. Lucky Shrub, next banner reroll gives the same banners, but increases the rarity by 1 grade. That is huge. Life point is below 50%, you gain +2 energy. Sure, it's free. That was a chance of +4 hexes. Yeah, 17 gold. Are you kidding me? Of course. Oh, and we got a relic from the chest. If you do not use your energy in a wave, you have +1 energy in the next wave stacking. Okay, so it just stacks the energy if you don't use it. At each economic phase, the upgrade cost of a random tower is reduced by 5 gold. Now this is once again, if we have like 50 or 60 towers in the future and one of them gets reduced by 5 gold, I'd really... Or we can look at it in that way, you know, essentially every wave that's going to be 5 gold, so like in 10 wave it's going to be 50 gold, like... Or increase the life points by 10, yeah, I think I'm going to go with that one. I'm not sure about that other one. The 5 gold deduction for 1 single tower. Let's just check if we have everything. I'm going to grab Wonder Seed 3. I do want to grab this, but I want to grab the prefabrication first and then wildlife ritual. Yeah, we're not really using spells right now. Okay, and then next wave we can actually grab this specialization, which is going to be for the brewery. And at that point, we don't need this many people on wheat production. At that point, we can really start pumping out a bunch of outposts. Let's just take a peek at what kind of outposts we can... Oh my god, 17 for... And we can grab that right now. Yes, because we're still over 1,000. Okay. That's crazy. My biggest fear right now is that I'm going to overdo this economy thing, and by the time we actually get to the good stuff, like putting down a bunch of outposts to actually boost our economy and then start putting down a bunch of towers, at that point we lose. That's currently what I'm afraid of. It doesn't really seem like we are losing, right, because they barely get across, but what we have experienced in the previous episode... Oh. Yeah, so as you can see, they are kind of getting across. Yeah, this might be... Yeah, and this back here doesn't do shit. Okay, so good thing that wasn't a boss, or... Okay. A research duration is less.
Completed.
And research is completed. Fantastic. So this is the fusion. With a magical charge, percentage of spell damage bonuses added to the runestone tower damage. Still not there yet with the runestone tower. I'd rather boost this. Okay, so they're a little bit getting across. Don't really like that. Of course, what we could do right now is just grab a bunch of towers. We have the resources to do so. Or be extremely greedy. Because if we get this, we will be left with 145 wood. And that will only be a few towers. Unless we build a bunch of runestone towers. But let's be greedy. Why be greedy when we don't even have outposts? Yeah, this is so stupid. We don't even have outposts right now. Yeah, I mean, it just feels stupid right now to grab that when we don't even have outposts to boost. Like, what are we going to boost? This one where we demolished all the resources, and this one. And yes, we have a few of those over there. You know what? Let's just do one more round of towers. Let's put a runestone tower over there and there. Okay, let's grab a few more towers, especially arc towers. Those are our main damage dealers. And yeah, we were able to put down quite a few. Perfect. Might put some frost towers in the edges over here, not sure. Okay, and I want to put down a few more outposts right now, right away. Not really good. This 14 is good. Yeah, it's 42. Okay, what about wood? There's a 14 for wood. Okay. Oh, 16, 15. Okay, so we're going to put a few more wood outposts over there. So now it's slowly starting to make a lot more sense to grab the specialization. We'll see. No ongoing research. 5 waves later for 3 rerolls. No more common banners possible anymore. That's very nice. Plus some market relic. It's also very nice. Or we can just go with a bunch of damage. Like all towers plus 50% damage and then plus 5% crit chance per tower type. So that means tower types that we have a banner for. So currently that would be 15%. And that would be fantastic for the arc towers, right? Because that would be a higher chance of crits, which will result in more crit rate because of the banner. I'm going to go with luck. Let's see if we get lucky by doing that. Oh, this is tough. Tough choices, honestly, what to do. Now with this, I'm hoping that at least most of the enemies will be taken out. Didn't really happen. Maybe the focus is not too good, I'm not sure. Okay, so these guys will focus on the boss, and basically nothing happened. Okay, maybe the arrow tower focus is actually not too good anymore. This was fantastic in the early game, but... What we could do is focus on the ones that spawn minions. I mean, these are going to bleed. So, I mean, focusing on the one with the max health is actually a good option. Kind of want to pop these spawners at some point. Okay, we'll see. We'll see if we can even survive the boss wave. Because this guy has just regened all of his health, which is also something that you guys told me. Okay. So yeah, one of you guys actually told me that it's a bad idea to put like defensive waves or defensive lines very far from each other, and that makes total sense because of exactly this reason that we are seeing here. Is by the time they the boss gets from one defensive line to another, it completely regens the health, so it's pretty bad. Focus rune increases the damage. Yeah, but we also have the combined or the fused banner. Duration of bleeding is increased by 3. I assume that's 3 seconds. That's very nice. Your towers can no longer receive a level up for the next 4 waves, but all towers receive plus 40% fire rate permanently. Or damage to slowed enemies is multiplicatively increased to 125%, slowed by bleeding or frost towers or spells. Oh man. So this is nice because this will end right before the next boss wave. So essentially we'll go into wave 30 for the next boss with plus 40% increased fire rate, which plays perfectly well into the lightning surge. Let's grab this and see what happens. And let's grab the fusion as well. So this is kind of what I meant earlier. Is I'm not sure how to like transition out of this situation. Is that we have these amazing banners coming in, and now we should start focusing on runestone banners. I mean, sure we could, but then we are losing out on the other amazing banners. So this is what I'm not entirely sure, like how to proceed or how to get all those fusions. Well, I mean, I know how to get all those fusions. We should just grab those banners, but I'm not sure if that will pay off. Okay, so that's a lot more income from those, and then we can just actually focus on. We have a ton of gold. We can do some manual upgrades for a lot of these towers, actually. Build some runestone towers in these critical locations. Yeah, so we have built this up. This is the other location that I wanted to build a bunch of towers with a forge here, but this was a very nice position for stone masons. Okay, well, let's go with this. Let's go with a little bit more stone so that we can build some more arc towers. Yeah, so this is like way too far off, and I don't really want to demolish all these towers. Level 5 towers, plus we have the forge over here. I'm not sure if that will be worth it, honestly. I'm just very scared if we demolish that and rebuild it over here, then that's not gonna be enough firepower and we just lose immediately. Rather just manually boost something once the 4 wave thing is over. We have a ton of gold. So yeah, this is going to be a huge problem right now. I can use some spells, but this might be over. Yeah, because too many of them are actually getting through. Well, might not be over just yet, but it's definitely going to be over next round. Damn. Yeah, positioning of the towers in this one is... that was really bad. I mean, we can't really build that many towers right now. You know what? I'm just going to take this apart. Regardless of what happens. And even... I mean, we're still experimenting. I shouldn't really be try-harding this all this much. It's just a little bit disappointing because I feel like we were doing pretty good so far. So a couple of arrow towers, a bunch of arc towers, and I mean we can just rebuild these runestone towers. We need 5 because it's only a maximum stack of 5, right? Can put a forge over here, plus 45%. This would be a fantastic position for some Raven towers, but once again, I'm not sure if building Raven towers now is actually a good idea over here. Although this would be, like I said, a fantastic position. I mean, we can try. Worst case scenario, we will lose immediately. But also use some runestone towers in this position as well. Okay, we just need gold. Let's grab the gold from the guild hall. Okay, and that is it. Okay, let's see. What should we focus on? I think we should attempt to pop the spawners. Or maybe snipe the group healers. Those are really annoying at this point. Yeah, let's try to do that. Okay. Any location for a good combined... what is this? General collector. Then let's grab a few of these. Oh, should have got the 12. Okay, yeah, this might actually like lose us the game right off the bat, unfortunately. I'm not sure. Yeah, it was definitely a mistake that the two defensive... Well, the defensive line over here was like horseshit. It's one of the... Actually, wait a second. So this targets the closest one. I think that's fine. What can we snipe with the... You know what, let's actually snipe the healers and the spawners with the arrow towers as well. So if anyone gets through from this point on, it will essentially get to the... Yep, and now all of these will get through. Yeah, that was a mistake. Yeah, we didn't have enough firepower for this shit, unfortunately. That's very disappointing because here we had... How much is this approximately? Because we can, I mean, heal up 21. I'm not sure if this is like more than 21. Maybe we can survive one more round, but the problem is we were at wave 35 previously. Let's reroll to better ones. Kills an enemy, deals damage to nearby enemies based on... Or maybe this. Grab the Doom Blast. Yeah, so this is... I definitely feel that this is... At this point, this is shit. Maybe I should have just focused on this position a lot more. Like, you know, not come down here just because the only reason I came down here is because the Forge with plus 58% damage. I should have just focused on building this up a lot more. Like, you know, like arc towers along this path entirely. I think that would have been a better choice. Because this is just now... I'm pretty sure it's going to be over next time. Next wave. Maybe once the Artifact of Determination is over, then... I mean, the not grabbing upgrades penalty is over, then we would have had a short chance. But this time, yeah, we just don't get to. Can't really out heal this much at this point. I mean, there wasn't really too much. But yeah, I don't think we can out heal this. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's kind of like 6, no? Unless they spawn more. Yeah, this might be enough. Maybe we can hold on. Okay, stacks gold. Okay, nice. Minus 20% enemy chance, elite enemy chance, or minus 20. Do we want that? I mean, if we cannot take it out, then yes. Otherwise, it's good resources. I don't know. Let's go with the banner. Hopefully, we can survive until that makes sense to grab that banner. Build more arc towers here. Yeah, I'm definitely going to, once this is over, so next wave. If we can survive next wave, then we can grab a bunch of range for the Radiant Towers, and hopefully that will make a difference. I doubt it. I'm not even sure that this direction in general is good. That's my biggest problem right now. That in the last episode, you know, completely effortlessly, we managed to get to wave 35, and this time around when I actually... Well, I attempted to put some brain behind all this, then we're struggling to even reach wave 30. And I mean, that I'm pretty sure we're not going to be able to... Yeah, those healers are actually really bad. Oh man. I'm really not sure how much wheat we need. I mean, this is one good use case for wheat, I guess. 11. Well, the question is that more than 11? I mean, that's... Oh, and then there's another group, so that's definitely going to be more than 11. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, maybe building stuff down here. Maybe building stuff down there is actually... That was actually a big mistake. I should have just stuck with the original position. And then that would have been affected by the forge. Yeah, because I only transitioned because of the damn forge, and I don't think that was worth it, honestly. Yeah. Okay, so we only got to... Yeah, all the high score wave was 36, actually, not even 35. Yeah, so this was really bad. Okay. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We'll see what we do next. I mean, in terms of strategy, like this early greed is... We can pull it off. I'm just not sure if it's really worth it. But this one was definitely because of the positioning of my towers, is that we got screwed over this much. Yeah, I'll try to work on that. Okay. And by the way, this so yeah, my concerns with this fusing, I'm not sure if I'm correct in that, but if you have like any more concrete info on whether that's actually going to pay off in the long run, and for me long run is like, you know, this wave 36, then do let me know if it's still worth doing, or I should just stick with 2 towers and fuse those, because ultimately I think this is a good combo. For example, arrow towers and arc towers, but so many of you had actually said to make even more fusions that, yeah, I'm definitely believe you guys. I just don't see it just yet. Okay, thank you guys for watching. I'll be back soon.